All right, there we go. I didn't have a microphone when I started it last time. I gotta make sure I delete the other one that posted. I think it posted. Let's see. Go to my channel. Make sure I can get. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, that last one was a mistake. So if you watch that one, don't worry about it. It's not a real post, but this is a real one now. Hopefully y'all can hear me. So once we get some people in the chat, we'll make sure that we can hear okay. So so yeah, just doing another live chat to see what's going on. Let me post this on Instagram so people can join. Sweet. We should be good. Oh yeah, this is I'm live. So we can delete this one. That 17-second one is no good. What's up for reals, y'all? How goes it? Good. Yeah, I had some issues with the microphone on the little first stream I started, so I had to start it over. I'm trying to figure out how can I delete this video? Um, huh. Trying to figure out how I can delete these videos in my account because it's obviously not a real live. So I got a couple more games that came in this week to show off. Nothing exciting, but definitely some stuff that I wanna show off. I guess it's not showing up as a video. Hmm. I don't know why I can't. Normally I can delete these video because this video posted by accident thinking I was recording. But what are you up to tonight for reals, y'all? Anything going on? Content. Here we go. No. Here we go. Here we go. View all. Huh. Delete. There we go. I got it. Got it deleted. Ghetto Finger. What's going on? Greetings, man. Welcome. I got some more games to show off. I didn't get too much over the past week. I was on call last week, so I really didn't get much gaming in or much buying of games. But I have a couple things I got that came in the mail that I'll show over here. Um, I got two games and then just one special thing that's not really a game, but used to play a game. So, what are you up to this weekend? Or sorry, it's not even the weekend. Man, I'm lost. What are you up to tonight, Ghetto Finger? I'm just gonna eat some Oreos too while we're at it. I think you guys should be able to hear me. I was having an issue with the audio at first, but I think the audio is much better now. So hopefully that's the case. Kind of wait till some more people get in here and we can talk about some games or whatever you guys are up to, whatever you guys are playing. I'm always interested to know. Less than a month till I'm going to Japan. Can hear me fine. Good. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I use OBS and I updated it for whatever reason. As soon as I updated it, the mic wasn't connected anymore, so I had to go in and just reconnect it. Gonna do some 3DO here in a few. I never played much 3DO, but I know there's some pretty rare titles on there. What are your favorite 3DO games? 3DO is one of those that I never had growing up, and I don't really know much about it, so I wouldn't know if I wanted to collect it, I wouldn't know where to start. But I know there's some good, decent games. I know it's pretty expensive though too. I actually um, I recorded an episode today, so I recorded I think episode 28. And so tomorrow I'll post episode 21 on my podcast. So 28, I'm excited about. It's going to be a good one. It's a group known as Embracer Games, and they're in Sweden, and they have a huge. It's almost like a museum, but it's for research purposes and all kinds of stuff. And they have a, I think he said 70,000 games and accessories, and they're almost all complete in box. And so he showed me a couple rare things that I'd never seen before. It's really cool. Unfortunately, you can't visit it in person. It's more for um, just research and things like that. So it's pretty cool stuff. I'm excited for that episode. I might have to have him back on again because, like I said, there's a lot of cool stuff that they had. So, hmm so wonder if this chat. No, that's weird. Hmm. It doesn't show me the chat when I go to YouTube, so I just have to do it all on OBS, I guess. I wonder. Let me try to reload. Let me try to refresh the YouTube and see what happens. I don't know if that's going to do anything. Yeah, it's not really doing anything. That's weird that for whatever reason, when you go through OBS, you can't see it on YouTube. So I got for reals, y'all. I got your message about a new logo. So I'm excited to see. I'm pretty attached to my current one. I do like it though. I know you said he made a new one, so we'll see. I do. I did use AI for this one, but I thought it came out pretty much kind of like I like the cartoony feel of it. Want my logo to be somewhat cartoonish. So yeah. Well, we'll wait like a few more minutes and see if anyone else pops in. And like I said, I have some games to show off to y'all. Not a lot. Didn't get a lot of stuff. I still have to, every game I buy, I test, and all the games I showed off last week, I still have to go through and test. So I haven't even went through and done that yet. AI rocks. Yeah, it's okay, man. I think it's good. I use it when I do my videos. I always edit with AI. So um, sometimes it's messed it up a little bit when it edits it, and I didn't catch it, and I posted the episode, but it happens sometimes. Um, for reals, y'all, if you want to shoot me like a JPEG of what you made, just so I can take a look at it, I promise I won't use it or anything without, talking to you first or anything like that. But I'll drop my email here in the chat. I don't know if there's a way I can message you personally or not, but that's it's just drgamerretro@gmail.com. If you want to send it that direction, let me know when you send it because I'll be honest, I don't check that email super often, so I have to know when you send it. So here, I'll let you know. Sweet. Thanks, man. So, yeah, just a couple games to show off today. Again, I like to wait. I feel like it's best to wait for if more people show up because then we can feel like if more people come in, then I got to start over and start showing off my games that I got again, and people don't see it. So AI art is just something I'm not a fan of. Yeah, well, I'm not artistic at all, so I couldn't. I'd be impossible for me to draw something, and so um, it's definitely if I have someone that can draw better than me. You get a lot of cool stuff, new games. I didn't get that many because I was on call all week last week. So I got two new games and then um, two Nintendo 64 games that I've been wanting to add to my collection for a while. And then I got a an accessory that I'll show you all that I think I've talked about actually all these two games and this accessory wanting to get it. So it came in. Actually, the games came in yesterday, and the accessory came in over the weekend. So it's hard to buy new games when I'm on call a week, but I do a lot of online shopping too. So I don't have any I don't have any game stores within 2.5 hours of me. So it's pretty far to go. I would much rather prefer to go to a game store, but um, hopefully soon I'll be able to do that. I'll live closer to one. I want to be the guy that goes into the game store like 2 or 3 times a week and knows the owners, and if they get anything cool, they'll call me so that I can have like first dibs on it. That'd be awesome. Mm. I just realized, I think for reals, y'all, I think we were talking about movies last time, like all the video game movies, and we are talking about Resident Evil movies too. And I just realized that there's actually supposed to be a new one, a new Resident Evil movie coming out in 2026, which is supposed to be more similar to the games than the ones they made previously. So I'm excited for that. I don't know if you've heard of that. All right, let's see. Where's my timer? We're at 11 minutes. I'll give it. Yeah, look it up. It's George. I think it's George Romero. Is that his name? Like the director. He does a lot of horror films, and it's supposed to come out in 2026. So there was also one that I was flipping through the channels last night, and I have a lot of like movie channels, like Stars and stuff. And there was another Resident Evil movie that was on that came out in 2019, and I watched it for about 10 minutes, and it was not very good. It was live action, and just like the characters, the guy they had playing Leon Kennedy was like looked nothing like him, and I just was very put off by it. So hopefully the one they make in 2026 will be good. I don't know. We'll see. And of course there's that Zelda movie coming out that everyone's excited about. Did let's see. I don't know for reals, y'all. You should have been. Were you able to pre-order a Switch 2? I know here in the US we're not able to because of all the tariffs and stuff going on. So, Ghetto Finger, are you gonna get a Switch 2? I'm gonna wait. I don't really have any plans to get a Switch 2. Um, I think if I get a Switch 2, I would just get rid of my Switch, my original Switch, just because I wouldn't really have much of a reason to have it. I'm not getting a Switch 2. Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I don't have any. I mean, I just feel like Nintendo, in my opinion, just makes the same thing over and over, and they expect people, which it's for younger audiences, I think, which makes sense. But I think um, they're at like a point where it's not going to get any better. They're just like they're like movies. They remake movies all the time, and now they're remaking their games and trying to like say, oh, now it's in 4K. And I'll be honest with you, like, yes, 4K games are beautiful and if they're in higher resolution, but I don't really care that much. If I played it once on like normal resolution, I'm good. I don't need to buy it again and play it for that much. It'll cost over 620 US dollars in Norway and Denmark. In Sweden, it'll be like 700. Each game will cost 95 to 102. Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. It's so expensive here, and I don't know why. It's going to be expensive here too, I think. I have a feeling with all the tariffs and stuff that's going on. I know they say that video games are not going to be infected or affected. Sorry, I was thinking about Resident Evil again. It's abnormally more pricey here. Yeah, that's weird. I that's weird. I don't know why that might be, but it seems like, it seems like it was time for at least games to cost a little more. When you look at Well, I can remember some games back when I was younger, the greatest hits for PlayStation, for example, like any of the green labels with greatest hits on PlayStation, those were $20, 1999. I always remember I went to Walmart and I always remember those games were 1999. And I was always excited when one of the games that I liked that was like $60 came on to the greatest hits because then it became a lot cheaper. So definitely a definitely interesting times with prices because you can't even get retro games for that cheap anymore. So it's just hard all around to buy video games. So all right, it's been about 15 minutes. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you the games I got. So I'm not sure. Let's see. I'm not sure who told me about this game, but I do remember. Oh, I think it was Mike Klein, so or Morbid as I call him. So I'm not sure if he's on here watching or if he's watching at a later date. But I remember, I think it was he and I on here that were talking about this game, and I was actually not clear on what it was. But so, and I'll explain. But Diddy Kong Racing. So I have never played Diddy Kong Racing. So the reason being, so again, just a very nice copy. Diddy Kong Racing, I always thought was a game that was very similar to Mario Kart. And again, I never played it, so I just thought it was multiplayer. You race around, you find, it's just multiplayer game, just like Mario Kart. And I was like, why do I need Diddy Kong Racing if I have Mario Kart? Well, I realized that's not true, and that Diddy Kong Racing is actually a pretty fun game with some various levels and various racing kind of like challenges to do, as far as I understand it. So I think I think I'm excited to play this one. So, I haven't, like I said, I haven't played it before. Never played it. Just came in the mail yesterday. So, hopefully, it will be a pretty good game. The other game that I picked up is another game. I'm trying to remember who told me about this one. I think it was Grant Who Plays Games. Grant Who Plays Games is a guy who has been on the show before. Has a complete Super Nintendo collection, and was it him? I don't remember who it was, but it might have been him. I sent the profile pic suggestion. If you got any feedback, I'm all ears. Okay, yeah, I'll take a look. Yeah, Diddy Kong Racing, but yeah, I had no idea. I just thought it was like another Mario Kart that just had different characters, but I was way wrong. And Diddy Kong, I apologize to you. I should try it. Yeah, definitely check it out. So this next one, like I said, someone recommended to me, and I think it was Grant Who Plays Games, but he's probably watching and he'll probably comment whether it was him or not. But Jet Force Gemini. This is another game that I never played growing up, but someone told me, "Oh, you know who it was?" No, it wasn't Grant. It was actually, um, shoot, I'm trying to remember who it was, but I've heard good things. I've heard good things. Retro Game Papa, that's who it was. That's who told me about this game. So he said I would like this. Sounds like it's a pretty fun game, pretty challenging game as well. So excited to check that one out. Another game that I've not played, but I've decided I'm going to try, and I think I've said this before. I decided I'm going to try to go for the. Um, it's good to have goals when you're collecting, so I'm going to try and go for the entire Nintendo 64 collection. So these are two games to add. I mean, I have a long way to go. I think there's like 360 something games, and I don't even have 100, but I do have some of the more expensive ones that I kind of got first. So hopefully the rest of the journey should be a little easier, but we'll see. So those are those games. And then I mentioned another accessory that I got, and I think I've been talking about this on my channel a little bit of wanting to get it, wanting to try it out. I have a few of the games, I think I showed off last time, a few of the games that work with this. And so I picked up some bongos for the Donkey Kong games on GameCube. So these are the bongos. I didn't realize that the cord can go right in here. That's cool. All right. So these are the bongos for Donkey Kong Jungle Beat, Donkey Konga, Donkey Konga 2. So I'm excited to try those out. Hopefully it works. I haven't tried these out. I do want to buy a second one of these. Whoops, a second one so I can try those out as well. See if it can be two player, but we'll see. I'm gonna hop on my email and check out the what you sent me for reals, y'all. So let me know if hopefully you should be able to still see me, still hear me. So let me see. Oh yeah, it's automatically logged into my Gmail here. Let's see. Loading, loading, loading. Um, you sent it to drgamerretro@gmail.com because I didn't get it. Hold on. Google Riverside. I don't have. Let me check and see. Maybe it's in like spam or something. Ah, here we go. It was in my spam. It thought you were spam. Or not spam. Okay. Wow, that's pretty cool. Hold on, it's opening. I'm trying to get a bigger picture of it. Well, maybe. There we go. That's pretty sweet. I like that. Like I said, I do like the cartoony aspect, and I think what you made is pretty awesome. What we got here? Maybe I wrote it wrong. Let me check. No, no, I got it. I got it. So, like I said, I think it's pretty cool. I like the cartoony aspect. I don't know, something about it just because I'm like a funny, cartoony, stress-free kind of guy most of the time. So, but I do like what you made. I could probably use that in other ways, but let me think. I'm trying to think. I will let you know. I will let you know. But I do, like I said, yeah, it was fun to throw out a suggestion. No, I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. That's awesome. Did you make your profile picture that you have right now on YouTube? I'm assuming you did because it looks to be a similar style, but um, maybe you didn't. I don't know. Yeah, I was kind of in a rush when I made that because I was like, well, I need to make some sort of profile and I need a picture, and I didn't really have one at first, and so I did. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I can tell. I needed a picture and I was like, well, I drew it a while back. Nice. So do you like draw it freehand and then upload it into the computer, or do you draw it on the computer? Like I said, I have no knowledge when it comes to anything artistic, so I don't even know what's possible and what's not. I haven't really got let's see, no new games. Um the only other thing I got that I'm gonna put in my game room once I have a full game room, and I'm excited to have a full game room and have a place to put everything. I draw on a tablet. It's like drawing tablet based. Okay, and then it just like uploads it to the computer, I assume, or makes it into it's your drawing as a digital file, and so that makes sense. But we got, I don't know, this is kind of cool just to put. This is like a clock that has like the date and time, because obviously if I'm in my game room, I'm not going to know what time it is, and I'm not going to know what day or month it is most of the time because I plan on spending a lot of time in there. So that'll definitely help with that. So. Um, yeah. What else? What else can we talk about? I think it's just you in here right now for reals, y'all. I sent out a link on my Instagram. See if anybody was going to join. Let me see if anybody has messaged or said anything about that. Let's see. By the way, do you have an Instagram for reals, y'all? I think we talked about this, and I don't think you do. I was trying to follow you. What other socials do you have? Do you have Instagram or TikTok or like any of that stuff? Just trying to see if I could follow you on more stuff, but I don't think could find you. Could show off a couple games too, just some random games here. So I don't know if any. I do have an Instagram. I post art sometimes. I'm waiting for games from Japan. I'm getting Popful Mail for the PC Engine. That's the game. Oh yeah, I remember you talking about that. That'll be awesome. So you ordered them. I wonder how long it takes and how difficult the process is to get something from there. I want to go to Japan. I think I'm going to go to Australia later this year, and I'm considering stopping by in Japan, but I don't know if the logistics will work out, so we'll see. What you post art? That'd be cool. What's your Instagram if you don't have to give it to me if you don't want to, but I'd like to follow you on there, and you can follow me on there as well. I post a lot of my games that I have, and then some clips from my podcast as well as some memes. I've been doing a lot of memes lately, posting those on TikTok. 10 days or so to get a game from Japan. That's not bad. Sometimes it takes longer than that for me to get a game here in the US, like shipping from one city to another. So for reals, y'all, I'm pretty sure I searched for that and didn't find it. Hold on. Let me double check this because let's see. For reals, y'alls. I don't know why it didn't show up when I searched the first time. Make sure I'm spelling it correctly. I had that, and that's because someone else had taken. Oh, maybe that's why I didn't find it. Okay, so yeah, this is all your art, right? So you drew all this stuff, huh? That's pretty sweet. All right, I hit you with a follow. Feel free to follow me back. Oh, I see your Parappa the Rapper. That's some cool drawings. You're pretty good artistic. Is that part of your job that you do? Do you do any sort of drawing for your job, or do you do that just for fun as a hobby? Had to, and my profile pic is an Animal Crossing character with Martin Foot. Yep, gotcha, gotcha. I cannot draw to save my life. Art was probably my worst subject in school, to be honest with you. So I wasn't a big fan of it, and I just wasn't very good at it. Every once in a while, I drew something that was decent looking, but I never had anything that looked very good at all compared to the stuff you have on your page. So I'm just going to grab some random games to show my collection, but we got Chester Cheetah here. I don't know why I grabbed this one, but Chester Cheetah had some games. They did a lot of games on the Super Nintendo, I feel like like what's the word, mascots or whatever. They had the Domino's Noid, I think, had a game, Yo Noid, and then they had what else? They had the 7 Up guy. He has like a little red circle, I think. He had a game, and obviously you have Chester Cheetah here. So Chester Cheetah, I think he had a couple other games too. This one's the Too Cool to Fool, and I played it for a little bit, and it just was not very fun, to be honest. I do some logo design work and video editing for to drawing. It's mostly hobby. Gotcha. That's cool. I followed you back. Awesome. Thank you. Cool Spot is a game people genuinely like. Never tried. Really? I didn't know people like it. I'll check it out. I don't think I have it. Yeah, I do not have it, but I do not have Cool Spot, but I will definitely have to get it because I did not think it would be any good. I also want to get the Yo Noid game because I feel like that one would be interesting to play as well. So, let's see what else we got. Mm, Here is a game that I think, man, these are not, these are pretty tight in here. All right, I don't think it's going to come out very easily. All right, forget it. We're not going to show that one because I just can't. Um, well, here's a game that I picked up, which is apparently pretty good. It's called Metal Storm. This one I got a while back. I always thought like mech games and stuff were cool, and this is one on the NES that is pretty cool. I think there's one on the Super Nintendo called Metal Warriors that I would like to play. Have you tried Star Tropics? I got the first one on NES. No, I really cool, but I'm bad at it. I have never played that. I feel like I looked at it once, and I am not a fan of RPGs, and I thought it was like an RPG. Maybe I'm wrong. Star Tropics. I don't think I do not have it, and I've not played it, but I feel like I remember looking at it. and deciding I didn't want it. Um, Especially we were talking about some games that were made off of movies and movies made off of games. So we've got, obviously we got Rambo here. So Rambo is another classic made by Acclaim. I feel like Acclaim made some pretty good games in my opinion. I think they get a lot of hate, but Acclaim was pretty good. Those are maybe not now, but back in the day, Acclaim was good. So let's see what else. What else we got in here? I've showed these off a couple times, so these are pretty cool. So this is Star Tropics is more like a puzzle platformer. Oh, okay. I'll have to check it out then. Yeah, I wasn't aware of what kind of game it was, and it's for Super Nintendo. Is that what you said? Star Trek on NES. Oh, NES. Okay. I'll have to check it out. I feel like once I move somewhere where I have a lot more games or game stores around me, my collection is going to grow infinitesimally larger because I have really the only place I have is online right now. And I don't really like buying things online, especially if they're expensive, because I worry that it might not be good condition and it might, the pictures can sometimes not be accurate. At a glance, it kind of looks like an RPG when you're in towns and stuff. Okay, yeah, that's what I figured. Maybe that's why I thought that. Maybe that's why I thought it. So, I've showed a couple of these. My other goal, other than Nintendo 64, is to get these not for resale copies. So this is a Donkey Kong Country not for resale copy. So, oh, let's show it this way. Yep, not for resale. They all show not for resale up here and on the front label there. And this is a pretty clean copy. I think I picked this up when I was in Canada, actually. Um, so I've got a couple of those. I've got this one, and then let's see. I want to say I need to get new shelves too. I feel like these shelves are a little small. Um, oh, here's another banger of a game that I have. Let's see. I played a WWF game on Sega CD. It's really good and it features the voice of wrestlers. My favorite one was Macho Man Randy Savage. That guy was so cool. Oh, he was cool. Yeah, they were all pretty cool. I don't Some of them I feel like were not good people, is what I've learned. There's a lot of documentaries about wrestling. I used to be really into it when I was younger, but now I just don't follow the stories. Oh, cool, not for resale. Yeah, not for resale is interesting. I have a couple more I'll show in just a second, but um, the um, the WWF game, I think is it in your house? Was it WWF in your house or something on Sega CD? I've wanted to buy that one, but it just seems very similar to all the other WWF games, and I didn't think it was worth it, but I might have to get it. So another banger, I guess, as people call them, or really high quality, expensive game is Final Fight Guy. So this is not to be confused with Final Fight. This is Final Fight Guy. So this is one of my more expensive games in the collection. Got the old school Blockbuster video sticker on the back, which is kind of cool. Every once in a while, I see these Blockbuster stickers. I don't plan on taking this one off. I think it just adds to the nostalgia of this game. So let's see, where did I get this from? Everything's alphabetized. So, oh man, where did I get this from? Oh, right here. Oh wow, did I really get that from here? Oh no, you know what? I actually didn't have that one on a shelf because I couldn't fit it on there. I need bigger shelves. I need more shelves. So, oh, here's another not for resale. This is I have this. I love Final Fight. I have the Sega CD one. Yeah, definitely fun games. I didn't even know what that game was. One day I walked into a Half Price Books, which is mostly like a bookstore, but they sometimes have games, and they had Final Fight. I want to say, yeah, they had the first one, Final Fight. I was like, this game looks interesting, so I bought it, and it's typically like those beat 'em up games are the kind of the ones that I like anyway. So, but another not for resale, which again is pretty clean. One of my favorite games on Super Nintendo is Turtles in Time. So another not for resale game. So that's the second one. I think there's like 7 or 8 of these all together on Super Nintendo. And I think I only have, I had four. One, two, I guess I only have three. I guess I only have three, but I'm working on getting the other ones. Oh, that is not the right one. And then the other one I have here is kind of a, I used to not be so into beat 'em ups, and I played Turtles in Time, and everything changed. Oh yeah, that was Turtles in Time is a good one. Streets of Rage was another good one I played when I was younger. Um, Trying to think what other ones. The Power Rangers games were good. I really loved the Simpsons arcade that you could go and play, where it was like a beat 'em up as the Simpsons characters. And then this is not as I don't want to say high quality of a game, but not like a in demand game. But this one is NCAA basketball, which is another not for resale that they made. This one's probably the cheapest of all the not for resale games, but one of the goals is to get all of those. So they're some of them can be quite expensive. Um, and when I say they, I mean they make them, especially Nintendo. I think Nintendo's the main one that makes them, and they make them for almost all their systems. But Super Nintendo, I don't know if there are any not for resale games for NES. I don't think there are, but I got Super Nintendo, and then N64 is the other one I want to get the not for resale games in, and I think I only have one not for resale. Um, oh, maybe hold on. Is this a not for resale? It is. Yeah. So I have two actually for Nintendo 64 not for resale games. So I have Mario Party 3 right here. So not for resale. And then let's see, where did I get this from? I take it back. I have two. I have three of these on Nintendo 64 because I also have the not for resale version of Mario Party 2. So we got Mario Party 3 and Mario Party 2. Okay. Should I put these all back in the right spot? I actually don't have a normal copy of Mario Party 2, I just realized. Oh, actually, I thought I had Super Mario 64 as well. Maybe I have more of these than I thought on Nintendo 64. Let me keep looking. Hold on. Yep. Yes, yes, yes. Here it is. I have four. So here's another one, Super Mario 64, that's not for resale here. So I wasn't a huge fan of this game. I know people love Super Mario 64, but I just I don't know. It was all right. I just I've never been huge into Mario. I mean, it's fun, don't get me wrong, but it's never been my except for Super Mario Brothers 3 and Super Mario World. Other than those two, the other ones were never really that awesome to me. And the same thing goes for Pokemon. I know I talk a lot about I don't have any Pokemon games, but I do have the not for resale Pokemon Stadium version here. It's a little damaged on the front. I try to buy games that aren't so damaged, but I got this one for a bit of a discount, so it was worth it. So, not for resale, Pokemon Stadium. Um, let's see. What other cool games do we have over here? So, I got this game, and I just got it because it looked cool on the cover and I thought it would be fun. But it's called Mr. Do for Super Nintendo, and it's absolutely awful. I don't. I played it for maybe 20 minutes, and it just I don't I don't know the point. And maybe it just was not the kind of game that I'm interested in. But it's also got a nice little sticker from a place called Video Paradise. I don't know where Video Paradise was, but I left this on as well, just as a little nostalgia there. I love Pokemon up to the end of the original DS. I never felt the later ones were that interesting. I did like new Pokemon Snap and Legends. I didn't play the new Pokemon Snap. I played the old one, which is good. Mr. Do, I have never heard of it. Oh man, you don't want to. Seriously, just leave it alone. It's not worth it. Not worth it. Let's see what else. I picked up this game, which is kind of like a racing game, but you're these little mice dudes on motorbikes. So this is biker mice from Mars. So it's a pretty fun game. Um, I played it for a little bit. Nothing too like crazy though. Let's see what else we got down here. Yeah. 164 games that have you played Bubsy? Biker Mice from Mars? Oh, you've heard of it? You've heard of Biker Mice from Mars? I love that growing up. Oh, it was a show. That game's awesome. I didn't know it was a show. That's crazy. I love drifting in it. Yeah, drifting. That game, maybe I'll have to stream that game. It's tough. That game's tough for sure. But we got Duck Dodgers right here. Another show. I don't know if you watched this show when you were younger, but I loved Daffy Duck and Duck Dodgers. So this is another game for Nintendo 64. I played this for a little bit also. It was also kind of difficult, to be honest with you. You had it on VHS. Man, there's a lot of people that might be watching this that don't even know what VHS is. So that makes me feel old. Another game that's like a kind of like a 3D platformer that I had never heard of, and I picked up Duck Dodgers. You watched that too? Yeah, definitely, definitely awesome. What a collection. Oh, Peter North. Hello, sir. I thought that was just for reals, y'all talking again. Yeah, we're just going through some. I'm just showing off some random games. If you have any games you want to see if I have or requests, I'm happy to take them. But welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining in. We're just talking about games and stuff. And then I got this rocket robot on wheels. I liked this because when I saw it in the store, it was red, and so I like these cartridges on Nintendo 64 that are different colors. And so I thought that would be a cool game to play too, because I always liked robots growing up. So I thought that was pretty cool. Um, do you have Perfect Dark? Oh yeah, man. One second. Perfect Dark. Now, let's see. Yeah, here it is. Perfect Dark, right here. This is not a reproduction, so just Perfect Dark, just cool. Yeah. So if you look kind of right, it's hard. I don't know if it'll come through that well. There's like an etched in number there. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I promise you it's there. It says 41A or something. That's how you can tell that these are real. Um, not reproductions. You can also open them up, but a lot of times, you have to have special screws to do that. So, um, yeah, and you're talking about the gold Rocket Robot on Wheels was made by Sucker Punch before they made Sly Cooper. Oh, okay. I didn't know that I didn't know they had. Oh, it's clear you can see it. Okay, good. Yeah, so they have you were talking about this one being gold. So this is Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Um, and again, you can see if you look, well, yeah, that one shows up a lot better, probably because of the gold contrast, but there's a number on that one too. This one is also the like the hologram cover thing. I think there's a cartridge that doesn't have the hologram cover on it. So, but yeah, in terms of what I have in my collection, I have NES, SNES, Nintendo 64, Dreamcast, PS1, PS2, Sega Genesis, Sega CDs, Sega Saturn, Game Gear, GameCube, and that's pretty much what I collect. So, let's see, what else we got? Uh, well, since we're talking about, gold cartridges, obviously we've got The Legends of Zelda, which is for NES, is a gold cartridge. And then The Adventures of Link, which is another gold cartridge here. So some cool stuff. Ocarina of Time wasn't gold in Europe for some reason, but Majora's Mask was. Oh, okay. Also, our cart just has the mask and logo, no image of Link. That's interesting. Regional differences are very, yeah. I think we've talked about that before. There's a lot of regional differences, and I would say for the most part, I, you guys have a lot better. The PAL versions have better covers, in my opinion, but I think the only exception that I've seen so far is the Metal Gear Solid. Or sorry, I think we have better covers, but the only exception is Metal Gear Solid, where the PAL version is much better looking. Here it just says Metal Gear Solid and it's kind of blank and it doesn't make a lot of sense. All right, what else we got here? Let's see. We got I was a big fan of the first one, Mega Man Legends 2. So Mega Man Legends was a game that I played a lot. I remember beating it. Actually, played it for the Nintendo 64. I never beat the second one, but I do have a CIB copy of it here, which is pretty nice. What do you think about Adventure of Link? My buddy hates the game. I think it's okay, but I know some love it. I honestly don't. I'll be honest with you. I'm not huge into Zelda, so to ask me what I think about a Zelda game is probably a little biased. But I there's not really. If I tell you my top 10 games of all time, Zelda is not on it at all. So Mega Man Legends, yeah, definitely a good one. Let's see. Let me go over here and grab some of these. Maybe there's some good ones here. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Let me get some nice games here to show you all. So I'm a huge fan of survival horror games. So I do have a lot of those. It's probably like the most of anything I have. So Haunting Grounds, a game I need to play but haven't played yet. Um, but I've been told I might like it since I am a fan of the survival horror genre. So Adventures of Trombone on PS1, I got the game for 100. What? Oh, so you must have got it a long time ago if you got it for $100, because yeah, now I think it's like 600. I would love to get it. I heard it's not a great game, but I'd like to get it and try it out because I love all the Mega Man games. And then of course I have Rule of Rose, which is another game that I need to try out. This is complete in box also. This was a expensive game, but I really wanted to get it so I could try it just because like I said, I'm a fan of survival horror. So and then these next ones here. So we got I'll just kind of show you like this. I got all the Silent Hill games as well. So we got Origins, Silent Hill 2, Silent Hill 3, Silent Hill 4, The Room. These are all very clean, complete in box copies. So um, Silent Hill 4 right here. And I need to play through all these because I haven't gotten to. I played the first and second Silent Hill are the only ones I ever played. And I definitely need to go back and play the newer ones, or sorry, the later ones in the series. I love it, but it's very different. Basically, four different gameplay styles built into one game. You do various missions with different gameplay styles to earn enough money to repay debt. Interesting. And again, here's Silent Hill 2, another nice complete in box game. Anybody watching, feel free to request to see any game. If I don't have it, I'll take recommendations on games I should add to my collection. I'm always looking to build a collection and get good games. Always looking to talk about games. If you want to talk about movies that are games or anything, or you just want questions about collecting answered, I do a podcast every week on Wednesday. There'll be a new episode tomorrow. We talk about collecting, and I have a different collector on from all over the world. We'll be on episode, I think 21 will be posted tomorrow. So I'm excited about that. There's a new episode every week. Make sure you follow. You can follow me on Instagram as well. And you can follow me on TikTok where I post some memes as well. And here's Silent Hill Origins. And this one I keep in this little plastic case. I bought it like that. So I really haven't taken it out just because it's hard to tell, but this game is like the spine is perfect. It's very good shape. So anyone watching, I'd love to know your favorite console or favorite game. Yeah, let us know. Let us know what your guys' favorite console is, what your favorite game is. And we can maybe have a little debate on that too. It doesn't have to be just, it doesn't have to be your favorite game, maybe like one of your top fives or something. But we're definitely all about talking about that kind of stuff. So, um, let's see. I don't know that I don't know that anyone else is in here except us right now, but hopefully, we'll keep talking, keep showing some games, and we'll get some more people in here. So, let's see. Um, here's another pretty game. The Hyper KG. Where's Super Mario? Super Mario 64. All right, man, I got you. I got you. Hold on. Super Mario 64. For Super Mario 64. Now, when you say Super Mario 64, it depends. Now, do you want the original version here, right? So here we have the original version, whoops, right there. Or do you want the not for resale version, which is much rarer? So, no. So when it comes to Nintendo 64 games, I don't collect any boxed. The only reason I don't collect boxed is because I like to play my games, and I feel like the price of cardboard is so high. The only games I collect boxed, I have some a different room where I have some higher value ones, and those I do have boxed, but there's not so many, and I have sealed. I have some sealed ones too, and I do have a couple graded games. Um, but in terms of boxed Sega Genesis, I always buy complete in box. And then Sega Saturn, PS2, GameCube, PS1, and Dreamcast. Those are all the ones that I only buy complete in box. I think it makes a lot more sense. I'm from the UK, but for the NTSC, yeah, we were just talking about this. I don't know if you were in here when we were talking about it, but there is a lot of games that look better on the PAL version, the box art. In most cases, I prefer PAL box art, but for N64 games, I prefer NTSC. Yeah, so here's an example. Yeah. So here's an example that I've shown here before when we talk about PAL versus NTSC is Metal Gear Solid. Like this cover is, I mean, it's nice because it's just gets to the point and says, "Here's the game you're playing, Metal Gear Solid," but there's no cool picture in the background. Um, so I've seen the picture of the PAL version, and it looks much better in my opinion. So I I think this is one example where the PAL version is a lot better than the NTSC version. I'm trying to remember who showed me the PAL version. Um, and then we got, let's see here. You guys seem to like Mario a lot. And so, like I was showing earlier, the black border is just weird. Yeah, definitely. So I was showing a lot of not for resale, and this is actually a Mario Kart Double Dash not for resale version. It's the only one I have for GameCube, but they put it on the back there. It says not for resale. So this is also complete. So another GameCube game that I picked up recently that I'm looking forward to play is Eternal Darkness. So once I get a really cool game room set up and get my games more organized, I'm gonna do some game room tours. But right now, I just don't have a great area for this. But Eternal Darkness, complete in box here. Really cool game. Definitely messes with you a lot. I need to play it. I need to get on it. If you guys are just tuning in, thanks for watching. We got 6 viewers in the chat. We're going on about 53 minutes. Any games you want to see, any games you recommend if I don't have it, make sure you follow me on Instagram where I show off my collection. On TikTok, I post memes. On YouTube, make sure you follow me. I do a podcast once a week where I post new episodes where I interview video game collectors from all over the world. If you have a suggestion on someone you want to see on the show, drop it in the chat. And introduce yourself if you're in the chat. You know, for reals, y'all's here all the time. He and I know each other pretty well by this point. I'm interested in meeting new people. So if you're out there, feel free to type something up and say hi. Let us know what your favorite game is and what your favorite console is. I think that's a good place to start. Man, I wish I liked Eternal Darkness more. I thought it was okay. Got it for 25 bucks. It's fairly cheap here. I forget how much it was when I got it, but I'm excited to check it out. So, um, and then let's see. Here's a. I've always been a fan of Batman, and so here's a Batman Forever arcade game that I picked up for Sega Saturn. I'm not too knowledgeable about the Sega Saturn, but this is how much how much did you get the not for resale 64 cart? That's a good question. I don't know. I can let me see if I have it. Sometimes I will keep track of how much I pay for games and what they're worth and everything. So let me see if I have it. I might not have that one on here. Hold on. Let me see. I want to say, hold on. Let's see. Bum, bum, bum. I got it for 235. I got um I got the Mario 64 not for resale for 235. So, how much did you what's a game that really disappointed you if you can disappointed me? Um, what's a game that really disappointed me? Let me think. I'm gonna go with Wayne's World because I am a huge fan of the movies. I think they're great 90s nostalgia. And I was like, oh, sweet, there's a Wayne's World game. So I picked it up and it's quite expensive. And I played it for, like I said, 15, 20 minutes, like some games, and I just couldn't get into it. I didn't like it. So it was kind of disappointing. I wish they would have done um, Wayne's World better, but I think they did them kind of dirty here. So, and then I don't keep track, but I want to at some point. Yeah, it's nice. I recommend there's an app called Price Charting, um, and that can help you once you get a game, you log it, and then you can see how much you paid for it, and that way you can see if it appreciates or depreciates in price, which is nice to know if the money you spent was worth it or not. Sometimes it's not. Wayne's World, the movie, and skits are great. The games suck. Yeah, the games are pretty terrible. Um, let's see what else we got here. Trying to find some bangers for you guys here, some real good games. So we got classic games. Some of the Disney games are really fun. So we got DuckTales right here. I think this one's not too expensive, DuckTales. But then I think DuckTales 2 is pretty expensive. So there's DuckTales 2, which I picked up at a gaming convention. So there you go. Trying to put these back as I pull them out because otherwise, sometimes. Well, here's a game that not a lot of people have heard of. Um, this is Chiller for NES. It's got a different. This is made by um, shoot, Dream something. I forget the name, but it's kind of a scary game. I think it got like banned or something because it was so scary, or it was just a weird game. So, do you have Super Mario Bros. Arcade for the NES? Really hard to find in good condition. I do. Um, this one, Mar Mario Brothers Arcade Classic. Is this what you're talking about? I think mine's in pretty good condition, and it's a five screw. So five screw. Anyone watching who doesn't know, are some of the earlier games that were released on NES have five screws in the back. So if you take another one, so let me see. Let's take this one for instance. Yeah, see, it's got the three screws. It doesn't have every corner, it just has the bottom. Let me center this. There we go. Just has the bottom. And then there you have five screws. Rick Kane, I subscribe. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. Feel free to, by the way, opinion on backyard baseball. Uh, I like a lot of baseball games. Backyard baseball is fun. I like the kind of kid-like and nostalgia feel. It reminds me of playing baseball in the backyard with my friends. I never really got much into sports games though, but I would say I much more like those kind of games than the games that are like more realistic. So like MLB, 2K, whatever. I don't play that. A really fun sports game in that regard that I like is if I can find it. Here we go. Yeah, so a really fun game I like in that regard is Looney Tunes. Whoops, Looney Tunes B-Ball. This is like if Looney Tunes and NBA Jam made a game together. It's pretty cool. You can choose like your characters and they have special abilities. It's got all the Looney Tunes in it. It's really fun. I highly recommend it. Awesome to see more people chatting. No, it definitely is. We definitely, this is a lot more fun when people will chat. Um, for reals, y'all will tell you sometimes it's just me and him in here talking together, but definitely like to have people in here chatting. Let us know let us know your favorite console and your favorite game, or if there's a game you want to see if I have. I don't have a huge collection, but I do have some pretty good games, and I definitely take recommendations if you recommend a game for me to pick up. 'Cause I only collect complete in box, but the box to that is hard to find in good condition. Yeah. I when it comes to NES and Super Nintendo, I don't know. I don't think the cardboard's worth it. There's a couple exceptions, like if it's a game that I remember having as a kid and has a really good meaning to me, then yeah, I will. Favorite backyard baseball character. I've never played it, so I couldn't tell you the characters. I've seen people play it, but I've never really owned it or played it myself. I like Mario Nintendo stuff. You like Mario Nintendo stuff? Okay. Um, let's see. Oh, here's a Mario game. Hold on. Well, oh boy. So, if you like Mario Nintendo stuff, I have a lot of Mario games because a lot exist, but I have all the Mario parties on GameCube. So we got Mario Party 4. These are all complete in box. Mario Party 4. This is the Kmart exclusive version. So I don't have the Wavebird wireless controller that came with it. And then we got Mario Party 5. I think I have all the Mario parties. I want to say except Mario Party 4. Wait, I just showed you 4, didn't I? No, sorry. I do have all the Mario parties. So it's Mario Party 5, Mario Party 6, also complete in box. These are fun games to play. These are especially good to play with people who are either not good at video games or don't like video games because I played them with people who don't typically like video games or aren't into them, and they like this game. They like the party atmosphere. Um, do you collect DS stuff? No, I don't collect DS stuff, but I have. Let's see. So sometimes I will do like mystery auctions online and I will win some DS games. And I have a few that I usually sell them, but I have Cooking Mama and I have Shrek Super Slam. These I just won, like I said, in a mystery auction. And then I have a loose copy of Mario Kart DS. I don't own a DS. I don't collect handheld stuff except the Game Gear is the only real handheld collection I have, only because you have to limit myself, otherwise I'll spend way too much money. Left Bros, Mario Bros. 3. I don't know if this one is a Left Bros or not. No, so this is not a Left Bros one, but I have actually a I do have. It's in a different room, so I don't have it in here to show you, but I do have a complete in box Left Bros Mario Brothers 3. That's one of the ones. I actually have a complete in box Super Mario Brothers 1, complete in box Super Mario Brothers 2, and complete in box Left Bros Super Mario Brothers 3. It's actually I have a graded. No, I take that back. I have a graded Super Mario Brothers 3 Left Bros. The complete in box Super Mario Brothers 3 I have is not graded. It's just complete in box. So I have two Super Mario Bros. 3 in another room that are hopefully when I have more space, I can put them all in the same room and show those off too. I have um, as far as complete in box for NES is, I also have a Burger Time only because that's one of my favorite games of all time. I have let's see, where is I have again in another room. I have a sealed copy of the arcade game Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is a loose copy, obviously, but I have a sealed copy of this in another room. And then I also have a sealed copy of Metal Gear. So this game, I have a sealed copy of this. This is the first sealed copy I've ever gotten of any game. Was Metal Gear. All these are in another room. At some point, I will do a show where I show off all the sealed and graded stuff that I have. I don't have. I only have maybe three or four, maybe five graded games. Not a lot. I have some DS Touch Me promotional stuff, and I've not found any other online and looked on Reddit, and people are still confused. That's cool. Again, if you guys are just now tuning in, or if you're watching, make sure you follow the channel. I have a YouTube channel where I interview um, new collectors, people from all over the world. Um, Interview once a week and post new episodes. We're on episode 21 tomorrow. Will be released, so make sure you tune in. There's some really cool stuff. It's good learning for people who are just getting into collecting or want to see stuff they've never seen before. And then I have my Instagram page where I show off my collection and post some clips from the podcast. And then I have a TikTok where I also post different memes and clips from the podcast. So make sure you guys follow and like and tune into all those locations if you want to see more cool video game stuff. Um, so my newest games, I got some newer games here in my collection. Um, I showed these off last week, but this first one is Batman and Robin, Adventures of Batman and Robin for Super Nintendo. I have the game also for Sega Genesis as a complete in box version, but what I've been told is the games are very different when it comes to the Super Nintendo version. So I'm excited to play this. I really loved the cartoon when I was younger. So Batman and Robin. And then what we have also is RoboCop versus Terminator. So another good one that I loved watching both these movies. So excited to play this. If you guys have ever seen the box for this game, if you want to buy a complete in box copy, the box for this game is really cool. I highly recommend it. Um, and then Zelda, which again, I haven't been a huge Zelda fan, and this is a little bit of a dirty copy, but I got it for a little bit cheaper. Um, but it's definitely a fun game and one I needed to have in my collection. Otherwise, I got some new NES games the other week that I showed off before. There is this one, which is Gunsmoke. Haven't played it before, was told I would really like it, so I'm excited. If you guys are just tuning in, or if you're watching in the chat, drop your favorite game or a game you want to see, if I have, or your favorite console, so we can talk about it. And then Nightshade. Nightshade, I heard, is like a point and click kind of game, which again I'm excited about playing this one too. So usually I buy all these games and I go through and I'll test them just to make sure that they work. Can I send links on here? I think so. Yeah, you should be able to. I'm not sure if you're watching on your phone or on your computer. You should be able to copy paste the link and put it in the chat. Um, uh, just let us know what you're sending a link for before you put it on there so people don't click it not knowing what it is. And then the other game I picked up a while back was Crash Team Racing. So this is a cool game. I'm not sure what I like better, Mario Kart or Crash Team Racing, but there are some cool racing games on multiple systems. Highly recommend you guys check them out. And then I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. And so at some point I can go through and show you all the Resident Evil games I have, but I have them for GameCube, I have them for PS2, and I have them for Dreamcast, and I have them for almost every system. But I picked this up, which I thought was pretty cool, which is a preview disc, which has just a disc in, but it has a playable demo of Resident Evil 4 for GameCube when it first came out, and it's got videos of all the other remakes that they did on the GameCube. So it's pretty cool. My Reddit post on my DS Touch, my promotional. Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead, man. I don't care. I'm all about spreading the joy of game collecting, and if anyone else has any cool collections, showing it off. So um, I'd be interested to see it. Um, I had a guy on not too long ago, well, probably several episodes back now, who had a lot of cool DS stuff. He had the McDonald's DS that had the McDonald's logo on it, and it had the games that they used in Japan to train McDonald's employees. Those are pretty cool. I definitely thought those were cool. So, um, let's see. Another game that, let's see, another game a lot of people like. I want you to see it. Yeah, for sure. I'll check it out. You can also email me if you want. It's drgamerretro@gmail.com. Feel free to send an email if you want to do it that way. And then we got Crazy Taxi here for Dreamcast. This is the equivalent Sega All Stars equivalent to the greatest hits that they had for like PS1. I also have the regular version of this, the non but I don't know what you want to call it, the non Sega All Stars version, I guess. So um, this right here, one of my favorite games of all time, Resident Evil Director's Cut. So there were actually a couple Resident Evil games made on PS1 in terms of what they look like. And this one actually has a demo for Resident Evil 2 in it. That's why it has the second disc. But we've also got this is kind of my favorite cover, I think, when it comes to Resident Evil. So, guys, if you're just tuning in, feel free to drop some of your favorite games in the comments if you want to see if I have them. We can talk about them. Drop some of your favorite consoles, requests for games, and any recommendations. If you have recommendations, I always love to take those. I don't have a huge collection, but I have, a decent sized collection with some pretty good games. And then here's the Resident Evil 2, which is a Dual Shock version. So again, this is probably I would say one of my favorite games of all time, Resident Evil 2, just because there's so much replay value. It's fun to play the different categories. Did you know the version of Resident Evil we got outside of Japan is censored? The Japanese copy had a longer cutscene in the opening, more blood and gore. Also, Chris smokes a cigarette. Huh? I did not know that. I I know the cutscene is the cutscene is already pretty long. In the West, the cigarette shoot was covered with showing Chris shooting his handgun when it shows everyone's names. Interesting. I know that we have a lot of differences when it comes to Japan games too, but I did not know that was one. And then we got Resident Evil 3 Nemesis here. Now, this, not one of my, oops, everything's backwards. Not one of my favorite Resident Evils, but it's definitely in my top three Resident Evils. I don't like a lot of the newer ones, like Resident Evil 4. I was never really a huge fan. And then we got Resident Evil Code Veronica for Dreamcast. This is one of those that I have for probably almost every symptom. And I like how they do the second disc on this, where you kind of open it up and it avoids that big bulky disc that they had. Do you have the Game Boy Light? I finally got one complete in box. No, I don't. I do not have a Game Boy Light. I don't collect anything Game Boy per se. Um, since we're showing off some Dreamcast here, we also have this complete in box Seaman game, which was kind of a weird game if you've never played it. You have this little guy and he's got like this little face, and you can like talk to him, and yeah, definitely a weird game. This is complete in box, has a little microphone in there and everything that you use to talk to him through the Dreamcast. I remember thinking this game is so weird when I was younger. So, so weird. Um, and then we got D2. Um, I love RE Nemesis. It was the first one I ever saw. I was maybe, oh, nice. Yeah, definitely the first one. Resident Evil 1 was the first one. I kind of played them in the order as they came out, which was kind of nice. But a lot of the newer ones I don't like. D2 is a pretty fun game. This is complete in box as well here. Another multi-disc game, 4 discs to be exact. So a lot of these 4 disc games on some of these older consoles were really a lot of fun. So, and then we got Power Stone. Power Stone was like the original, I would say, sort of what's the word? Um, Mario Party game. So like a Mario Party game for Dreamcast. Um, did you know the Seaman Fish was voiced by Larry Nemo? Oops, I was thinking, never mind. Yeah, I didn't think it was, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was, but I don't think it was him. So Power Stone is a cool multiplayer game for Dreamcast, and it did so well that it actually got a sequel, Power Stone 2. It was Jeff Kramer. Okay, not familiar with him. Oh yeah, Power Stone, dude. Power Stone 1 and Power Stone 2. If only I had three friends that I could have over and we could play Power Stone 1 and 2 together because that would be so much fun. But those games are a lot of fun, for sure. Let's see. What's that? This is another game. I love Power Stone, especially the first. Oh yeah, they're both good. They're expensive now, but they're both good. Dreamcast had some real good games. It just didn't take off. Like they didn't put a lot of support in it, which I wish they would have. Parasite Eve 2, I have Parasite Eve 1 as well, but this was, I just grabbed a double disc version. But Parasite Eve, very fun game to play. If you've never played, I think it's based on like a movie or a comic book or something. Um, so let's see. Uh, I actually have several copies of Final Fantasy VII. Okay, and the reason there's several copies of Final Fantasy VII is they're all different. So for example, this one, this one here is the greatest hits version. And if you open it up, you have Sephiroth under here, which I forget what should be on this side, but it should not be Sephiroth because he's actually on this side. So we have a misprint here where we have Sephiroth on both sides. So that's cool. I love that misprint. And then this one's probably a more common misprint that people know about. Is let's see if I can get it to show where it says if you see where it says masterpiece there, right where it says Squaresoft's multi-million dollar masterpiece, the I is off center. So that's another error that was made um, on Final Fantasy. And then I have a normal greatest, actually I have four copies, and I have another greatest hits copy down there that's normal that doesn't have the Sephiroth duplication. And then this is just the normal non-greatest hits. I I again am not super into the RPGs, but Final Fantasy VII I think is the only one I've ever played all the way through. It's been a long time, but I had to get it because of the error. I thought the error was pretty cool. Parasite Eve was based on a book. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense for sure. You guys like Mega Man? We got all the Mega Mans. We got Metroid. Let's see. What else can I show you all here? Feel free to request any games you want to see. Feel free to recommend any games. Always open to talking about games. Here's a game that another game that you asked me earlier for reals, y'all. What game I thought was disappointing and Glover. I'd heard so many good things about this game, and I played it, and I just couldn't get into it. I just wasn't a huge fan of Glover, and maybe I'm in the minority, but I just couldn't get into Glover. It just didn't um didn't catch my attention. So maybe other people it would, but you know, I just wasn't a huge fan. So, whoops. Glover's kind of rough. Yeah, definitely a rough dude for sure. So let's see what else we got over here. Sega. Essentially. Here is pretty nice complete in box Splatterhouse 2. Again, I love survival horror games in general. So I picked this one up. Very mint complete in box copy of Splatterhouse 2. And then another cool game on the Sega Genesis I have complete in box is Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. This game may sound silly at first, but I highly recommend playing it if you've never played it before. It's actually pretty fun, good. And the same goes for Comics Zone. Comics Zone is probably one of my top, at least top five, definitely top 10, maybe top five Sega Genesis games. And this one is in like a box instead of the hard shell plastic, but it's very clean. The guy I got it from took very good care of his games. It actually has, there's a bonus CD here that it comes with, which is like a music CD, and it actually has the bonus CD with it. So Okay. Man, that's very tiring showing off the collection like that. I'm going to take a break for a second, take a drink, but I have to put all these games back at some point. Um, if you guys like what you see, if you're just tuning in, feel free to drop some comments. What's your favorite game? What's your favorite console? What games you want to see? See if I have. If I don't have them, I definitely take recommendations. I'm really into the survival horror games. Um, Make sure you subscribe. I have a lot of posts on Instagram where I talk about or I show my collection as well. Some of my more rare stuff I don't have in here. I have in a different room in a different cabinet. Lots of complete in box and sealed NES and an N64, as well as some graded stuff and some sealed PS1s. I have a sealed PS1 um, of a sealed PS1 Resident Evil 1. Sorry, no, not Resident Evil 1. I have a sealed Resident Evil 1 Director's Cut PS1. And then I have Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, all sealed. I have a long box, complete in box Resident Evil that's in very good shape. Again, all those are in other rooms. So hopefully I'll one day show those off as well. I should share photos of my collections. I can upload my Sonic collection. Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, definitely people love seeing collections online. So I didn't show off any Sega CD games. So I don't remember if I showed off this game before in the past, but I picked this up not too long ago. This is one of the Sega CD games that comes with two games in one. So it has the Three Ninjas and it also has Hook. And so it's two discs when you open it up. I don't like the way they did this because it was very flimsy here in the middle. But yeah, see it kind of doesn't even really stay in there. But there's the Hook disc and then there's the Three Ninjas. What up, Dr. G? What's up, Jeremy Cronberg? How you doing, man? We're just showing off some games here. So we got that and another cool game. Again, a lot of people like this game. I didn't really like it. This is a Star Wars Rebel Assault. So cool game on Sega CD. Sega CD again is another highly underrated console in my opinion. So there's Star Wars. Whoops, everything's backwards. Rebel Assault, right there. Fun game. A lot of flying. I wasn't really into the kind of flying simulators. Good. I just got home from work. Nice. Oh, you're home a little early. I guess not too early. Terminator, which, from my knowledge, is a very different game on Sega CD compared to some of the other consoles and things it's on. My copy's a little dirty on the front, but I got it at a kind of a discounted price. Very fun game. I streamed this once a while back. Haven't done much streaming. Need to try and get back into that once I get a better setup. I think I played that on PC. Which one? Rebel Assault? It's probably Rebel Assault. That sounds like a PC game to me. And then again, another one that people rave about that I never got too into. And for reals, y'all, maybe you'll like this one because you're talking about Sonic, Sonic CD. And I was never hugely into the Sonic games. When all that was going on, you had Sonic, you had Mario, you had Crash Bandicoot. I was more into Crash Bandicoot, Rebel Assault. Yep, that's what I figured. So Sonic CD right here. Echo the Dolphin, by the way. I don't own that. Whoops, where is it? Here we go. I don't own Echo the Dolphin. I need to get it. I can distinctly remember playing Echo the Dolphin, I think on like Sega Genesis maybe, and it was insanely difficult. And just now, going back and watching videos of people play it, I realized that it was about aliens, which is crazy. I thought it was just a game where you swim around as a dolphin. I never really made it that far. I love Sonic CD. I figured you would. I figured you would. I have all the other I have Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and then Sonic and Knuckles. And then I have, like I just showed you, Sonic CD for the Japanese and European soundtracks. The soundtracks are always good on those. I thought I let me see where my Sonic is. What's this? No. Wow, I just pulled out Resident Evil 2 for Dreamcast. I didn't even know I had that. Sometimes you kind of forget what you have. I don't have. I had. Yeah, here we go. I have Sonic Adventure as well for Dreamcast. There's a really rare version of this, like a not for resale version, that would be fun to have just as a collector's piece, but it's not a huge deal if I don't get it. But so there's Sonic Adventure, another fun game. This is a game I picked up recently after hearing about it from somebody. Bushido Blade. It's a fun little fighting game where you basically fight each other with swords and there's no health bars. So you could literally hit someone with your sword 10 seconds into the match if they don't block it or whatever, and you win. It's game over. So it's pretty fun. Pretty fun. Another PlayStation game I got a while back, Future Cop. I had heard good things about it. Definitely one I need to play, which I have not checked out recently. It's hard to play all these games. I do play them all when I first get them, and it's just a matter of how long I play them for. Sometimes I don't play them for super long. I just test them to make sure they work. Now I'm going to show you the worst game that I've ever played. So let me see. Go. This is probably had to go to the lower part of the shelf, but this is probably the worst game I've ever played. Time Commando. Activision, pretty good game developer. I don't know what they were thinking with this game. The controls are terrible. The graphics, I mean, they were trying to make it look cool, but it just didn't look great. It's just the story is kind of weird, um, and it's just super difficult. And I think I might have made it past the first level barely, but I just couldn't make it any further. I did not like it at all. So if you like that game, I apologize, but it just wasn't for me. And then here's another classic on PlayStation. I don't know if anyone's heard of Toomba, but this is Toomba 2. It's a nice little platformer. This is complete. The manual's a little messed up, but that'll happen with some of these games. But the Evil Swine Return, I thought I had Toomba 1. I was looking for it and I don't see it, so it may be misplaced, but I thought I had the first Toomba game. Um, let's see. Let's just grab some random PS1 games here. Let's see what we got. I just grabbed a couple. Oh, these games are really fun. If you like trivia games, posted several pictures in one post of some of my collection. Awesome. I'll check it out. Yeah, so these are fun trivia games. If you've ever played You Don't Know Jack, I think I picked these up for like $3 or something. They're very cheap. But I always loved You Don't Know Jack and I love trivia. So these are another game that I highly recommend if you have people that don't like video games or are not really into video games. I definitely recommend something like that. Mario Party is definitely another one that people who are not into video games might like. So, um, here's another game that's kind of up there in price. This is the Jetsons invasion of the Planet Pirates, little platformer game. A lot of these cartoon-based games are all kind of platformer. So, um, if you're watching, you feel free to drop any games you want to see if I have. If you have any recommendations, I'd love to hear that. Make sure you follow the channels. YouTube has the podcast where I have a new interview every week with someone about video game collecting, and then Instagram I share my collection, and then TikTok I post a lot of memes. I've been really into memes lately, so some people might not think they're very funny, but I do. They're all video game related. So we're coming up on an hour and a half, so we've had 37 views. That's awesome. Make sure you guys the like the live. Make sure you share it. Make sure you follow, do all those things. Demolition Man. Demolition Man. Do I have it? I can't remember. Hold on. I do not have it. I do not have Demolition Man. Oh, on Sega CD, I definitely don't have it on Sega CD. I know it's on Super Nintendo, but I definitely don't have it on Sega CD. I don't have that many games on Sega CD. I showed you like four here. I think I showed you four, and I have a total of maybe like 10, 11, 12 at the most. So I really need to work on my Sega CD collection, but that game sounds cool. Yeah, I need to I focus my buying on games that I really want to play, so that might be why I don't have a game that maybe you request. But if you say it's interesting, I might have to check it out and get it as long as I can get it for a decent price. Um, this is another classic game. I remember playing this all the time when I was younger. Double Dare on NES. It's a little dirty there on the back, but Double Dare on NES was always fun. It was hard. I remember it being very difficult, but some of the Nintendo shows were pretty cool when they turned them into video games. Oops. Another another classic on Nintendo was Contra. The movie's good, yeah. Well, a lot of good movies turn out to be very terrible video games. So we've talked about that before. Contra is another classic on NES. So another sports game that everyone's probably played in their life at some point. Tecmo Bowl, Tecmo Super Bowl. I posted a picture of my Sonic game collection. Nice. I'll check it out. I'll check it out. This is a football game remember playing a lot of when I was younger. Pretty fun. So I don't have a lot of if I have a manual for an NES game, I usually also means I have the box, but the one exception to that is a game that I just wanted the game and I found it for sale with the manual, so I went ahead and bought it. But you got WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge, and I have the manual for this. So I don't have a box. I should probably work on getting a box. I don't know. It's just I don't have a lot of boxes on games, so it's hard for me to invest in that cardboard. But if you guys are just joining, we got 5 viewers. Go ahead and post your favorite game, post your favorite console, maybe a game you want to see if I have, or a game you want to recommend for me to play. I have about, I think, 650 games as it stands right now. I've got some pretty good ones. Um, I don't have all of the rare games that you might see on other channels. Follow the YouTube every week on YouTube. I have a new show where I talk to a video game collector from all over the world. Talk about collecting. We see cool things from their collection. You can follow me on Instagram where I post my collection, or TikTok where I post a lot of memes and funny video game things. So make sure you guys like the live right now. Share. Make sure you follow so you can see more content. I appreciate all the follows. And if you're in the chat right now, feel free to say hi. We do not discriminate. For reals, y'all loves when people are chatting. He loves to talk and meet new people. So and so do I. So just make sure you know speak your mind. We're all here to talk about games, and whatever you want to talk about is fine. Oops. So we got 4 viewers right now. Probably end this pretty soon because I am getting kind of hungry. I need to eat some dinner. Any any games that you guys are playing right now, or any new games? I do have a lot of cool stuff up here too that's not really related to video games, some of it. But once I get my game room up, I'll be able to show that. Obviously, oops, I do have this NES World Championship that's completely sealed, so I don't know if you can tell there, but oops. Let's see. Yeah. So the seal hasn't been broken. So I still have this sealed. I pre-ordered this and got a copy of it. Um, Just a nice little collector's piece, I think. And then the same kind of goes for this Shredder's Revenge. I'm not going to take all that stuff down, but this Shredder's Revenge is also sealed. So I'm going to try Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate on the 3DS. Got it recently. I always wanted to play the Monster Hunter games. I never got into them, but I thought they'd be kind of cool because isn't Monster Hunter is the one where you can take any disc like CD, another video game, whatever, and you can just put it in and it creates a monster out of it, right? Which I thought that was pretty cool. I've always wanted to get that and just kind of see what kind of random monsters I could make. And I wonder if it's random or like if I put like a Mariah Carey CD in and you put the same CD in, are you going to get the same monster or is it just random so that, you know, every time you put it in you get a different monster? That's what I want to know. I'd be interested to know that. So, man, I got a lot of games to put back. I wasn't planning on pulling all those out, but oh no, it's Monster Rancher. Oh, okay. That's good too. All right. That's so what's Monster Hunter? Is that exactly what it sounds? You go around hunting monsters? The same disc will always give the same monster. Oh, okay. Uh, It reads the data. That's cool. So like if I put, one disc and then you also put the same disc in, you get the same monster. That's pretty cool. Not gonna lie. I do need to check that out. I've thought about buying it, but what's Monster Hunter then? Maybe I'm confused. So I know we got Monster Rancher and Monster Hunter. I feel like Monster Hunter is exactly what it sounds like. You just run around and like hunt monsters. Almost like almost kind of sounds like Pokemon, but I mean I know it's not. So 40 views, 5 viewers right now. Monster Hunter is made by Cap. Oh, okay. I'm intrigued. I love Capcom games, hence my infatuation with Resident Evil. So always excited to learn about more Capcom games. You know what else Capcom made, which is interesting? Guys, guys, did you know that Capcom made Aladdin? Isn't that crazy? For Super Nintendo. They made it for Super Nintendo, but not for Sega Genesis. I used to watch Monster Rancher before school. Oh yeah, that did have a show. Oh really? I didn't know that had a show. I have never heard of this. All right, I can give it back in. All right. I'm gonna have to put all these up later. That's fine. Guys, welcome in. If you're just now tuning in, feel free to leave a chat. Tell me what your favorite game is, what your favorite console is. We love just sitting here chatting about games, looking at games if you want to see one, or if you have a request, see if I have one. Happy to show all those things. Hopefully, probably going to get off here, maybe another 5, 10 minutes or so. Um, I hadn't done one of these in a while. Like I said, I was busy all last week, but when I'm not on call, not busy, I try to do more of these. So I did one last week, or not last week, sorry, 2 weeks ago. I did quite a few. Um, I think I might be. I'm filming 2 episodes for the podcast tomorrow. One I'm really excited about because it's a guy. He and I are going to talk about all Resident Evil things. And then another one I'm filming is a guy who has all kinds of cool Nintendo stuff. So we're going to talk about that. So I'm excited about that. That's on the agenda for tomorrow. So I might not have time to do a live because of filming 2 episodes. Normally I only film one episode a day, but I'm gonna do two tomorrow. So probably wear me out coming home from work and then filming 2 episodes. But I do love doing it and love sharing the content with you guys and learning stuff. So and actually Thursday I'll be going out of town. So I'll be gone from Thursday till Monday, late Monday. So the next available, if not tomorrow, the next time I might do a live stream is not till Monday, maybe Tuesday. But I think I'm also can't remember if I'm recording an episode on Tuesday or not. I have to put all these in my calendar because I try to record several per week. But I have a total of 29 recordings now, and then tomorrow will be 30 and 31. So the goal is to get to 52. Once I get to 52, that'll be the end of the first season, and then we'll work on doing some more. But I want to try and do some other cool stuff besides inviting collectors. I want to keep doing that and still do episodes like that, but I also want to do some other things like talk about retro music, like video game music from some old games. I want to do like a competition where two people compete to see who gets that. I have a lot of like spare games, like ones that I have duplicates of, or like the DS ones that I don't have any reason to keep. And so I'd like to do some sort of um, competition somehow where either I give it away on one of my channels or maybe like the music trivia competition and give it to the winner. But we'll see. I'm still working on that. So 41 views. There's three people viewing right now. I think it's just myself, for reals y'all, and Jeremy Kronberg. You guys are the real MVPs. You guys are always here, especially for reals y'all. I know Jeremy Kronberg works a lot, so it's sometimes hard to get him in here, but appreciate everyone stopping by and saying hello and chatting. I'm getting a little hungry, so I'll probably just go for a couple more minutes here. Competition will be cool. Yeah, I think we could do it with like maybe music. Like I said, if I can find a way to do that, I'd do it live. And then the competitions I'd do live. I'd stream live. Obviously, I think that'd be cool. I'm trying to figure out a way I can stream them using the Riverside program and also being able to see the chat. So I've hooked it up so that I can stream live through Riverside, which is how I record my podcast, but I haven't found a way to still see the chat when I do it. So that's what I want to be able to do. So I might have to open it separately on my phone or something. I don't know. Someone ripped all the files from Seaman and there's 20 hours of Divo in that game out. Yeah, because there's like responses to everything. Because you can talk to him and he responds, and if you like don't take care of him for, a day or two, he gets angry and it's very cool. It's like real time. It's like raising a pet fish essentially. Imagine recording that much. I mean, yeah. I mean, that someone got paid a lot of money to do that. You got to have a chat on your phone. Okay, that I don't know how to do that. So like let's see. If I go into my YouTube studio right now and I find my live, see, it doesn't show up as content because it's not published yet. It's not published, so I can't I don't know how to see it. Oh, maybe I'll go, hold on. What if I just go, hold on. Maybe I pretend like I'm just gonna watch myself. Well, is this it? Is this my live? Yeah, it won't let me go in and watch it. I gotta figure that out. I gotta figure out how to bring the chat up. Look up pop out chat. Twitch has a chat pop out, and I think YouTube does also. You just open it. Yeah, but like for instance, the chat isn't. I'll have to show you sometime. But like, I see the link right here. It says pop out dashboard. So I click that, and then it doesn't show me the chat. Like the chat is not. It's hard to explain, but I'm not getting any chat on the chat. I don't know what you iPhone users use, Opera or whatever. iOS, what are you talking about? You just open in your browser. All right, I'll have to figure it out. I'll have to figure it out because I want to do some cool live stuff like that. I want to have some people on too to do like Q&As with live. So if you have any suggestions on people who you want to see do a live session with me, let me know. Some people that have been on the show, I'll try to get them on, see if they want to do one. I think I have a couple ideas on who would be good for the browser. Yeah, I'll have to look at it, man, because the first problem I had was trying to find a way that I could stream live from Riverside and have someone in the show with me. And I've got that figured out. Now I just have to figure out how to be able to see the chat. And I feel like I Googled it and it said there was a way to do it in Riverside where you could see it like on the side. And maybe I just didn't click the right thing or have the right options open, but I'll figure it out. Don't worry. Cool new stuff coming soon. Um, but we'll go for like 5 more minutes. Guys, if you're watching, make sure you follow, make sure you like the live. That gets more people in here and more people chatting. Oh, Merp. Silversaurus Rex. Hello, Silversaurus Rex. How you doing? Any games you want to see? Any questions you have about any of my collection? I'll do more of these. If you like what you see, make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow. I'm on Instagram where I show off my collection. I'm on TikTok where I show off some clips from my podcast as well as some of my games. Hi. Hello, hello. And then YouTube, make sure you follow me on here. I do a podcast where I interview collectors from all over the world. We do one episode per week. It's a good learning experience. You get to see things maybe you've never seen before. You get to learn some tips on collecting, which if you're new to collecting, it's definitely very useful. Share your favorite console or some of your favorite games. It's always fun to hear. I agree. I agree. Silver Source, if you don't mind, share some of your favorite consoles or favorite games you like to play. Um, we always like to hear that, like to talk about that, and we don't judge. No matter what your favorite game is, we're not gonna say that we disagree. What was your very first console? My very first console that I ever got was a Nintendo. I had an NES growing up, and then after that, I had a Super Nintendo. I actually never had a Super Nintendo growing up. My uncle had one, and I played it with him a lot. That's how I know you. You're in GV. What's GV? That's how I know you're in GV. First console I played was N64. First I owned was PS2. Yeah, yeah. First one and then in terms of other consoles I had growing up, I remember vividly having a PlayStation. That was one of the first real consoles I had where I was like really, it was my own console. I didn't have to share it with my brother. Mine's Xbox and Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Nice. Game verifying. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. I'm in the game verifying Discord. I did an episode with Donnie actually. Um if you know him from Console Variations. So he was very fun to talk to, had some cool stuff, but we got a lot of cool episodes coming up. My first console was the NES, my first handheld was the Pink GBA. So even though I don't collect handhelds now, I had a Game Boy, a regular Game Boy growing up. I never had any other handhelds growing up. Game Boy was the only handheld I had. And I don't have a Game Boy anymore. I don't have a DS or anything like that. I had a friend who had um, a Sega Game Gear, and so I really wanted one like all those years back, like 20 some years ago, 20, 30 years ago. And so I picked one up and I got a lot of games for it too. So I was excited to have that. So the only um, handheld I have is a Sega Game Gear right now. So I have a lot of games for that. Sega CD was another one I didn't have growing up, but I had a friend who had it, and so I really wanted one. And once I'm older, have more money, then I was able to get my own Sega CD. So I have a Sega CD now as well. And then not only that, Sega Saturn was another one. One of my neighbors down the street have a Sega Saturn. I thought, oh, this is really cool. Like, this is the next generation of gaming. So I got a Sega Saturn recently, and I've been starting to collect a few games for that. I had a Dreamcast growing up. I had a Nintendo 64. My brother and I each had our own Nintendo 64 because we weren't good at sharing. And then I had a PS1, I had a PS2. I never had a PS3, 4, or 5. I had a Xbox and original Xbox. I had an Xbox 360, and I had an Xbox One. I had an Xbox One X. I had a Wii U, and I had a Switch, which I currently still have. You had some fancy neighbors. Yeah, definitely had fancy neighbors. I feel like I had growing up in my neighborhood, you were either Nintendo or Sega. And then as PlayStation came along, then you were maybe Sony. But I had, a neighbor who had a lot of Sega games. I can remember playing Pac-Man Adventures 2 on Sega. That was a lot of fun. So right now, in terms of consoles, that's a lot. Yeah, I don't have all those now anymore. At one point, I got rid of most of them and had to kind of restart my collection. But right now, in terms of consoles, what I have is I have NES, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Sega Dreamcast, PS1, PS2, GameCube, Sega Genesis, Sega CD, Sega Saturn, and Game Gear. I miss my Sega Genesis. That is, I think, the first console I had that was really my own. I don't think my brother wanted a Sega Genesis, and I remember when I got my Sega Genesis, actually the one that I have. So in terms of original consoles that I had growing up, I still have my original Nintendo 64. It's one of the see-through orange ones, so the console is all orange, as well as the controller. I have my original PS2. I'm just looking to make sure I don't miss anything. I have my original PS2. I have my original Dreamcast. I have my original Sega Genesis, but not Sega CD. Sega Saturn's not original. NES and Super Nintendo are not original. My GameCube is original. It's a black one. Um, so I do have about 650 games, and I do have some sealed and complete in box ones that I keep in another room in like a more fancy case. But at some point, I will go through and show all those off on one of these lives once I do another one. But behind me is kind of some of my cartridges. I only collect loose cartridges when it comes to NES, Super Nintendo, and N64. When you look at disc games, I always collect the complete in box. So it doesn't have a manual. I'm not buying it. There are a few exceptions to that at times, but I have PS1 and PS2 and GameCube and the Sega CD, Sega Saturn, and then I have um, Sega Genesis. I do complete in box too. I just think the cardboard boxes are hard to keep. What's the best way to say it? Keep pristine, and these cartridges are easier to kind of package if you have to move or move around, and it makes it a lot easier. So there are a few that I'm a little worried about when I have to move. Getting it like this, hopefully I can package quite well. Um, so so yeah. And then I do have a few Xbox 360 games, and obviously I have some Switch games and Xbox One, so I play those now. But a lot of the games I buy now that are newer, I just get digitally, just because it's easier. So, right, yeah. So again, if you have any suggestions on games that I should play, games I should get, if you have any sort of games you want to see if I have, let me know. Make sure you follow the YouTube channel for weekly podcasts with video game collectors. Make sure you like this live so we get more people in here, get chatting. I love learning new stuff. I love talking to people about games. It's just a lot of fun. And the more people we have in here, the more fun it is. I show off my collection on Instagram if you want to follow me, and then I do some TikToks. I do some clips from the podcasts for upcoming shows, as well as some memes that I post. So be sure to follow me on all those if you're interested in all that content. I love meeting and chatting with new people. If you have recommendations on people to be on the podcast, let me know. I've got some cool ideas for some new shows to be doing soon. Instead of just chatting about video game collecting, got some ideas for some other stuff. I'm just working out the logistics on that right now. If you're new in the chat, drop your favorite game of all time, drop your favorite console of all time. We love to hear people's opinions on some of that stuff, or really just drop any question. We love just talking about all things video games. If you want to talk about, the new Switch 2 and what your thoughts are on that, I'd be excited to hear that. We've talked about that a little bit. We've talked sometimes about movies that are going to be video games or video games that are going to be movies rather. The new Zelda movie that's coming out. There's a new Resident Evil movie coming out apparently in 2026 that I just found out about. So I'm excited about that. I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. So Resident Evil 2 is probably one of my favorite games of all time. It has a lot of memories for me, and it's just a really fun game. So make sure you guys like this video so we can get more people in here and get chatting. Um, might have to might have to bounce out here shortly. I am getting kind of hungry. Been doing this for almost 2 hours, so we got about 7 minutes till we're 2 hours in. So I'll go to the 2 hour mark. We'll see if we can get some more people in here, get some more people chatting. Let me know in the chat in the comments what your favorite game is and your favorite console if you haven't already, and let me know what you're playing through right now. If there's a game you're currently playing, what it is. Might be dinner time for the doc. I mean, I'm so close to 2 hours, I might as well just push through and go 6 more minutes, That's there's a Jaguar game for Sega CD. What's the Jaguar game for Sega CD? What? Gonna have to play that. Wait, like the console Jaguar has a game that's also on Sega CD? Oh, Jaguar the car. Okay. Yeah, you do like racing games. I've never played a lot of racing games in my time. I'm not a huge fan of them. I don't know if GTA counts as a racing game. Probably not, but I do like GTA. Obviously, who doesn't? Jaguar XJ 220 for Sega CD. I wanted that. I've never heard of that game. I can imagine it's probably pretty cheap though. I normally people suggest things to me, and I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll get it, but I don't know if I'd ever play that. I just don't like racing games, so I'm sure it's terrible. Yeah, I do. That's another thing. If you know any terrible games you've played, let me know. I love playing terrible games and then kind of reviewing them and talking about how terrible they are. Some games like that that come to mind. One is Time Commando for PS1. That's probably right now the worst game I've ever played. And then the other one is I heard Eminem Kart Racing, I think for Nintendo Wii. Shout out to Downstab. That game is really really bad, is what I've heard. I recently got my hands on a Sakura PS2 and I have an unopened Wii Red Edition, like original batteries and everything still set up, and those are my holy grail. Nice. So, like I said, I'll do another show at some point with some of my holy grail. None of these things really I consider holy grail items that are in here in this room. There's another shelf over here and another shelf over here, but none of these are really my holy grail. My holy grail item, which I have in a different room, is a graded copy of Siphon Filter 3 with the 911 flag variant on the front. So if you're not familiar with that, they released this game during 9/11 in 2001. It had a cover on it that they thought was too much like terrorism and they didn't want to release it anymore. So they pulled all those off the shelves and released a different copy with a different cover. But I actually have the copy that was not not released to the public. Now, some of those were given to employees and things like in the store. All of those have a hole punch in the back. So the hole punch in the back, meaning they can't resell it. But the one I have actually doesn't have a hole punch in it. So it's even more rare than the ones that are they're in a hole punch. And I think it's a 9.6 or 9.8 in terms of its rating. But yeah, I think it'd be fun to do a show where I show off some of my more expensive Grail items. I'm still collecting. I get new stuff every day. Well, not every day, but at least weekly. I try to get some games that I've wanted to play. A lot of times they're not super expensive ones, but we were showing off. I got Diddy Kong Racing earlier. I've never played it. I thought it was just like Mario Kart, but I'm excited to test it out because apparently it's not. And then Jet Force Gemini is another cool game that I was told to check out, so I got both those. My goal I have two goals really. So, well, three. So one is to, if someone recommends a game, says it's really fun, I want to get it and I want to play it and find out for myself, especially if it's a survival horror game, because I like all the Resident Evil games and Silent Hill games, games like that. And then the other is, the other goal of mine is to collect all the not for resale games on the Super Nintendo and the N64. So, like for this example, I showed this earlier. This is not for resale Donkey Kong Country. You really got to stream these games. Yeah, once I get a better setup, I'm gonna go back to streaming. I might do it here on YouTube. I just didn't the setup on the other platforms is not great. But these are demos that were released to stores so that they could put them in their machines and you could play them and kind of do like a demo. So I've got Donkey Kong um, in that regard. I also have Turtles in Time for that regard on Super Nintendo, and I have NCAA basketball on Super Nintendo. I think there's five or six more that I'm missing. And then Nintendo 64, I think I have Mario Party 2 and Mario Party 3. And then I have Mario Party 3, Mario Party 2. Then I have Super Mario 64, not for resale, which is this one? Not for resale. You should go eat and rest up. Yeah, it's probably a good idea. I think I will do that. But just to finish my thought, the other goals I have, so they're not for resale games, and then the other goal I have is I want to get a complete Nintendo 64 collection, which I'm a far way away from now, but hopefully, I can slowly build. I've got a lot of the more expensive ones now, so the Holy Grail for me is running on a shooter called Rapid Reload on PS1. Cool art style. You run on foot and take down mechs. Never released in North America, but we got it. That sounds cool. I wish I could get it and play. Obviously I don't collect any PAL games, but I wish some of those cool ones that you're talking about I could play. You got a spreadsheet with all your games. Yeah, not really a spreadsheet. It's an app. It's called Price Charting. So anytime I buy a game, I just log it in there and you can say if it's complete in box. Because believe it or not, sometimes, and I've done this before where I haven't checked and I was in a store and I saw a game I liked and I bought it and I actually had it at home already, which was an accident. but now I try to remember to look where I can search on my whole collection and say, do I have this game? And if I do, then I don't need to buy it. Also helps and tells you what prices are reasonable, like what it's going for on eBay and other auction sites and stuff. It's almost 300 bucks. Oh, the gun shooter game, the Rapid Reload. Nice. Games are expensive, and they're only getting more expensive. I hope that eventually they come down in price, so it saves the ones you have. Nice. Yeah, it saves them. Vib Ribbon is another cool one we got in Europe. North America didn't get Rhythm Game by Parappa. Oh, yeah, Parappa the Rapper is a really cool game. It's very easy and very short, but I liked it a lot. Got my whole Xbox collection on a spreadsheet. Nice. Yeah, I definitely recommend organizing your games in some way if you do have a big collection. Makes it easier to see what you've got and what you're missing. Um, and easier to find them too if for example, if I didn't know where something was and maybe I just didn't have it, I could know by just looking. So, all right, guys, we're just over 2 hours. We have over 100. Nice. I think my the most for any console is probably PS1 or PS2. Hard to say. I have a lot of Super Nintendo games. I'll have to look what the answer to that question is. 850 total. Nice. Grapple 1 is great. The sequel are my favorites. I haven't played the sequel. I need to play the sequel. Hopefully they're a little more difficult and longer than the other ones. But again, thanks for tuning in. I'll try to do another one of these tomorrow, guys. If not, it'll probably be next week, Monday or Tuesday when I do one. I'm going out of town this weekend. New episode drops tomorrow. Turn on your alerts if you're following me. That way you know when the new episode drops so you can check it out. Again, make sure you follow me on all my channels. It's Dr. Gamer Retro. There's a link tree in my profile, so you can follow me on Instagram and see parts of my collection. Some of my more rare Grail items are on there as well. And then TikTok for some memes, and then like I said, YouTube for the weekly podcast. But again, thanks everybody for tuning in. I think this is a pretty good podcast, or sorry, pretty good live that we had. And the most views we've had, we have 45, so that's awesome. We're getting up there. But I'll see you guys around. For reals, y'all. Yeah, see you around. Silversaurus Rex, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe, you too. Thanks for the stream. Jeremy Kronberg, you too, man. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys being here, and hopefully I see y'all next time. So, um, see y'all later. See you next time. Yeah, dude. See you next time, man. Take care, everybody.